Oh, that is like butter.
One of the key moments of the rebuild.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've got the head built, we can start having a look at the rest of the car. Got the keys, which is a bit of a miracle because they always get lost in the garage. Try and take the roof off, get everything out of the car, have a look and see what state we left everything in, because it took that long to take it apart and it was that long ago that we forgotten what it looks like in there. Get the new liner put in, get the pistons put in that we took out. We've got a new piston to put in there and rings to put on it. We've also got the old piston to put back in the liner and the liner to put back in. So we'll get on and do that now. Got to get this roof off. It's a pain because you can't do anything with the roof on, but it's a complete pain in the backside to store it anywhere. That'll probably end up on a sheet over behind the car somewhere. Hopefully nobody will drive over it. Let's have that out then.
The guys have taken the decision to remove, clean up and reseal the pistons and liners for cylinders 1, 2 and 3. Cylinder 4 is the one that had bore scoring, so that liner and its pistons have already been removed.
Yeah.
Draw around that, or draw around the bigger bit, I guess.
Yes, draw around the bigger bit.
And then cut it out slightly bigger.
Yep.
Yeah. And shove that down the bottom.
There was an awful lot of cleaning to be done. I'm not sure if BigSi drew the short straw or if he actually volunteered, but either way I'm glad I wasn't there. I've got more than enough of that to do with my own engine. Good to see somebody else working hard.
Right, so we've got a new liner.
Is that the right way?
Yeah, number 4. Oh, that's a bit too spangly for my liking. Oh, dear me. There we go.
Okay.
And half, or tiny little bit more. Stop. Tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. About there.
We're going in on right. Oh, okay, here we go. Is that the right way?
Yeah.
The disappearing ducts are because Simon's under the car turning the crankshaft and moving pistons 2 and 3 to bottom dead centre. That will make it much easier to remove the bearing caps.
Don't punch the gearbox.
Shall I take a picture of the back box? Just send this as quick.
Look what we have. You jealous?
Be jealous.
Yes.
It's mean. I probably will do in a minute.
Right, number 2.
Yeah, just remember what way it came out.
This will rattle it out. There we go. The shells come out of that one. Good. Okay, you want me to push?
Simon now pushes the conrod. That moves the piston and liner upwards. Swampy can grab them and pull them out of the top of the block. Pistons and liners were thoroughly cleaned. The next job is to fit the rings of the piston. The piston can then be inserted into the liner. This will, when it goes into the block, be the new cylinder number 4. They have to make sure that the gap in the piston ring is correct, because the ring will expand as the engine gets hotter. So one at a time, each ring is put into the new liner, and then the gap is checked with feeler gauges.
0.2 fits.
Yeah.
It went in.
Yeah, that's cool. What about point? Can you make a 0.35?
Doesn't fit right to the.
Yeah,
The new piston is a used part, so just requires a quick clean.
fit the crinkly one over the top. There we go. That is now fitted.
The rings are now fitted to the pistons. It's important that the gaps in the rings are in specific positions as per specification. This is to ensure that the best possible seal is obtained, and that obviously means best possible compression.
And there, I guess.
A ring compression tool is used to help slide the piston into the new liner.
Okay.
Just fucking pulls it in. There we go. There's another nice day today, so I've got Scotty here with me behind the camera. So we're going to have a look at the these shims that we've got. We're going to have a look at these, see whether we do actually need them. We need to do a bit more accurate measuring. I've had a delivery of a much more accurate feeler gauge, so we're going to have a look at that. Put these liners back in all 4 cylinders. Double check them again properly and see where we need to go. We're not quite sure whether they need doing yet, so we'll get that done and then we can work out what we're going to do with the head, how we're going to put the head back on, and see how far we get today.
All 4 pistons and liners are put back in the block. Swampy then uses a straight edge and a feeler gauge to measure how far the tops of the liners are protruding above the top of the block. The result was that liners 1, 2 and 3 had all dropped in the block slightly, and all 3 therefore needed shimming. If the shims weren't fitted, then there would be the risk that the MLS head gasket the Swampy is fitting wouldn't seal properly, and he could end up with the same situation that Scotty was in, where exhaust gases were getting into the coolant and the engine was constantly overheating. Liner number 1 was perfect after the shim was fitted, so numbers 2 and 3 were done as well.
Just round the top here?
Yep. All 4 liners were rechecked and everything was good, so they could be sealed into the block. The crankshaft is still positioned for pistons 2 and 3 to be at bottom dead centre, so those 2 are done first. Number 4 is actually still sat in there, but it's not bolted up to anything yet. Swampy is underneath the car and fits the new bearing shells. He also fits the end caps and torques them up to specification. The crankshaft has been rotated so that the journals for cylinders 1 and 4 are at bottom dead centre. We can now fit those, pistons and liners. just turning.
Let's go, new piston and new liner. Maybe gonna go in. Come on. There, right, it'll be nowhere near yet. Shouldn't be. That's it, I think.
Scotty's under the car and has fitted the new bearing shells and torqued up the end caps.
Oh, that is like butter. Oh, that's really nice.
Good. Good, good, good.
And a bottle falling over for no apparent reason. We're working today on my VVC TF. I've got one Simon with me up here, the expert in the 135, and then I've got another one under the car. So we should be good to go, I think.
Hello.
He's under there hiding away. We're going to try today to get the oil ladder back on properly, get all these head parts sorted out. We'll try and get the sump back on, and then we'll try very hard to try and get the actual head back on the engine today. We laid a load of parts out here, so we can see all the various different bits that we've got to try and put back on. Make sure we not only can follow the manual, but we've also got a load of these parts down here as well. All of these bits and pieces that need to go back onto the car. I think the oil ladder's currently underneath the car already, so we're going to try and get that cleaned up, get the surfaces for the sump cleaned up and get that put back on. But let's get on with it and see where we get to today, and you can see how we get on.
While Swampy is cleaning the lower section of the inlet manifold, BigSi is under the car cleaning the bottom of the block and preparing to fit the oil rail and sump.
Right.
Grimy before.
Shiny.
Yeah, so we've got the gasket
looking
on.
good.
Got the gasket on over there. This is all looking pretty clean, ready to go on. So let's get that back on. Fancy. Highly fancy.
By the time I find the oil, you'll have more time.
Oh, I'm only doing it. Is it?
Sorry.
Okay. No fancy tools.
Simon is applying the sealant to the oil rail.
Theoretically, there's three of us and one.
Let there be light. Get it on that lug there, and then that one there. Yep. Yep. Right. And pick up tube. Wiggle into there. That's 12.
roof's wet, but you know, it's a roof, it's supposed to get wet.
Yeah.
Well, let's think of it another way. It basically had pretty much none on before. So any, even if you put it a third of the way. Holes in it. Right.
Oh, that's not.
Then up,
Okay.
up the hill.
This is one of the key moments of the rebuild.
Yeah.
Let's get that. One side and then
Have to go in. That way. Sorry, Jack.
hilarious.
Right. You.
Got the whole VVC mechanism all right at the side.
Got it.
Sorted?
Got it.
Nice one.
Yes.
Hey. Now the head is sat in place, BigSi drops in the head bolts.
Perfectly, because of the dowels and
Yep.
The design of the camshafts mean that they need to be turned slightly so the two of the head bolts can be inserted fully. All of the head bolts are now tightened to finger tight.
So this will be number one. Correct. And what we're doing?
The bolts are now torqued initially to 20 Newton meters. This is the first of 3 parts of the tightening sequence.
Okay. One. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
then back going out from the middle.
Yeah.
Before the other.
Okay. Round to Simon, really. That's it.
Yep.
Next, each bolt is further tightened by turning it 180 degrees. And finally, for the last part of the tightening sequence, each bolt is turned a further 180 degrees. And now we can start reconnecting the electrics and putting the cooling system back together. Thanks for watching the Double Duck Garage, and we'll be back soon.
These go to the coil pack.